Hello and welcome back. Today I am doing some stash busting, sort of. I am definitely digging through my stash, but I got a couple of new pieces of paper in the last couple of months that I've been kind of dying to use. So I will kind of show you what I've pulled out. I found this paper pack. We have a Bookman's. I don't know if you're familiar with Bookman's, but we have a Bookman's close by. And I go there, I don't know, once a month, once every couple months, and the only thing I really ever look at is their scrapbooking and craft area. But the reason I go there is to turn in some of my old books and different things that I find around the house. They usually take most of it and give me a decent amount of store credit, and I always use my store credit on scrapbooking supplies. And one of their packs that they had was this pack, Just My Type, from DCWV. And most of the time I don't find paper packs that I like or that are all this really thick cardstock, and this one is, and I'll just kind of flip through it, but it just has some real fun patterns on both sides. And there was most of these, as I flipped through, I could use. So this first page here is out of that collection. This is the back side, which is also very pretty, but I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use this. And then this paper I found there, I don't know where it's from, and you probably can't see this on camera, but this is like raised velvet, the stripes are, and it's just really cool. It has some texture. You can see like these little splatters, I don't know what they are, but this is just a really fun piece of paper. So I've pulled that out. I pulled out a black piece of cardstock from my stash and this blue piece of cardstock. This will be to mount my photos on. So those are my papers for today. These are my pictures. If you stick around my channel for very long, you will learn that my older daughter Taylor, most of her pages will be horse related because that is her entire life. This is her horse Bruno. His show name is Meant to Be Mine. There's quite a story behind this. It's kind of a sad story with a happy ending. I won't get into that story today, but at some point I will scrapbook the sad part of this story, and I'll tell you the story then. But anyways, this is Bruno and my daughter. So we're going to do that. I've also pulled out these Project Life cards. I've had these forever. This is from a collection called Just Add Color. I got it at a garage sale. I get a lot of my stuff at garage sales or thrift stores so that I can afford to spend a little bit more on things like stamp sets and die cuts that are a little bit more expensive. So, although I do find those at garage sales often as well. Anyways, I pulled these out. This kind of goes with the story. I pulled out some colors that kind of bring out the yellows and oranges in the background. This I think I might cut out just this So Happy Together, so I pulled that out. I pulled out this stamp set. This is Capture the Adventure. This just came out. This was created by Close to My Heart but sold by Stampin' Up. This was it's not part of a collection, but it came out with the last release of the Close to My Heart things, and the reason I really got this was for these cameras. I am a photographer. That is my true profession, and before I did it as a profession, I've been taking pictures my whole life, so these cameras will come in very handy. There's 3 of them, and the whole say cheese is something that I say almost on a daily basis, and just these fun little negative strip and things for the background. I really love this set, so I pulled that out as a possibility. I pulled out these die alphabet. This is Simply Serif, lowercase and uppercase, also from Close to My Heart. So most of this stuff is obviously no longer available. And then I pulled out this Picture My Life set from Close to My Heart as well. This is from, this is just highlights. This is in their closeout. These were down to a couple of dollars, and I'm going to flip through this because I think there might be some colors in here. So I'm going to flip through this and pull out anything that might work. And then I found this also at Bookman's. This is probably pretty old. Recollections, die cuts. But it looked like this had kind of the pinks and blues and yellows that I'm going for. So I'm going to open this up and dig through and see if there's anything in here that will work. So I will do that, pull out anything that I think I might use, and then I'll show you what I'm thinking for this layout. So now I'm just taking everything out of its packaging and flipping through it to find anything that has the colors in it that I want to pull out from these pictures and these papers. I'm putting anything that might work over in the tray to the right and then setting everything else off to the side. I'm also going to flip through these Picture My Life cards here in a minute and pull out anything that has colors that match these colors as well. So the Picture My Life cards are 3x4 cards and 4x6 cards. They're basically pocket cards that you can slip into the page protectors. I like to use them to back my photos or to cut out pieces from them, like those hearts I could possibly cut out, and use them on my layouts. I've picked out a few things that might work, so let me show you what I was thinking for this. I normally build my pages on a white sheet of cardstock, but as I was pulling out papers and I came across this paper, I thought it would be really nice to build it on something other than white, and I laid my pictures out on this and I actually really like it. I want to bring in the pinks and the blues, and so I started putting this together thinking I would do the pink on the as a border with the brown in the middle, the brown and black, and then mat my photos on this blue to bring out my daughter's pants. So I actually cut a couple of mats as I was pulling things out just to get an idea of what I wanted to do, and so I put these out on here like so, just to get a feel for where I was going. And then I like that and thought that it needed a little bit more separation between this piece of paper and this piece of paper. So I pulled out the black and thought I would put a small black border around it like this, and then add in a title and embellishments and whatnot. And that's where I was looking at these and I thought this could maybe go in between these two pictures. I could trim it down so that one picture is on that arrow and one picture is on this arrow, but I don't really like how angled they are, but I still like the idea. So I could do it like this, and then I could put something like this kind of around it to draw in the colors. So I've just been messing around, but then I realized that I really need more of the pink, and so I think I want to put some pink paper down on top of this. So that was the direction I was going. But then when I cleared off my pictures and was messing around, I thought, well, what if I switch these two? What if I put the brown and black as the base, and then the black, and then the pink? And I like that also, and then the blue. And I think it just helps to brighten everything up a little bit. I don't know, what do you think? Leave a comment below. Tell me which one you like better. But then with the embellishments, I pulled this out because I was thinking I could fussy cut the hearts. They're kind of cute. I like this Today's Spotlight that I could also cut out. The So Happy Together would go nicely against this pink, but maybe not so much. I don't know, it goes pretty nice against the black too. So, you know, you just kind of have to mess around with it, and then these are the embellishments that would stick out, I would use, and they might look better coming off of a darker color. So if this were here and this was coming out, I mean, that's really pretty too, with some of these different tags and things. I don't know how I'm going to use them just yet, but that's really pretty too. And there's so many cute tags in here with this here, now, today. So I kind of have to obviously make a decision on what I'm going to do. After messing around a little bit with some embellishments, I've decided to stick with the brown paper on the top, just because those embellishments, the fun colors really pop off of it. So what I did is I obviously have my base layer here is 12 by 12. I cut the black one down to 11 1/4 by 11 1/4, and I cut this one down to 11 by 11. And I will probably cut them down smaller, but the reason I went this way is that I think I want my pictures to be in the middle. I also cut down a new mat. This is 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, so that both pictures would be on the same mat with a little bit wider border, as opposed to the individual ones that have a much thinner border, because I want the blue, I think, to pop a little bit more. I can always change that. I'm going to kind of do some playing around. I'm going to let you watch so you can see the process with the embellishments. I'm going to start by pulling things out of the items that I had set aside that I might want to use. I'm going to start with this Picture My Life card, and I'm cutting out this part of it that says "So Happy Together." I think that fits perfectly for these pictures, so I'm going to trim that down and slide that there. I'm just going to scoot these pictures over a little bit so that that fits all the way on to the brown and black paper. You're going to see me put all these little tags out and add different pieces that I pulled out, and you're going to see by the end of this that almost all of this is going to change, except for that "So Happy Together." That stays in that spot. But I wanted you to see how I move things around and kind of play with things until it feels right and you can kind of see it come together. So here I'm trying to use the 3x4 Picture My Life cards to back some of ground some of these embellishments by putting it behind them, and I didn't like that. And then you're going to see me take these little tags and kind of put them together and separate in different places, and those again will not stay there. But I don't end up using those hearts. They're super cute. I will end up using this. It says Today's Spotlight, and it's like a conversation bubble, which I don't need the conversation bubble part, but I wanted to use the sentiment. I really like the idea of this being the spotlight of today, because it was a pretty high point of not only today for Taylor, but kind of the past 6 months. So I'll get into that story a little bit later. So now I'm just kind of fussy cutting these hearts that have the same colors. I don't end up using all of them. I only use 2 of them that have kind of the pinks and yellows and purples. The other ones were more green and more dominantly purple, and I didn't want all those colors in. So I just used these 2 hearts, and you'll see me kind of place them in different places to figure out where I want them. They were both going to end up down next to the "So Happy Together" sentiment. I really did want to use this Picture My Life card. So this was a Project Life card that says, I think this says it all, because again, these pictures and her smile just kind of tells the whole story. So I'm trying to move things over to make room for that card, and you'll see me take the whole thing apart here in a minute and put these 2 pictures back on their individual mats to try to get back to my original idea. And spoiler alert, I don't like any of it, and this card, the Project Life card, does not end up on the layout. So I'll have to save it for another project, but you're going to see me mess around with it. These pictures are of my daughter, obviously, I've said that already, and her horse. And she was training at a barn, and she had been at that barn for a couple of years, but about 6 months before this picture was taken, she really wanted to move to a different barn that was more of a competition barn, a little bit more challenging, kind of take her to the next level kind of barn. But it was more expensive, and there was some logistics behind making all of that happen, and we had to wait until the right time. And things at her barn that she was training at kind of went south, and there was just some drama involved with everything, and that move to the new barn finally came in April of this year. And this set of pictures is Taylor and her horse on her first day riding at her new training barn. And this is a barn that she had been at before. She was just returning to it, and she was just so happy. So really, her smile and these pictures really do say it all. So anyway, you see that I didn't end up using those. I'm going through and adding these little tags, spaces to write the date. I'm going to use this stamp set, or at least I thought I was going to, and try to see if any of the sentiments would stamp directly onto those tags. I didn't like it and ended up not using that. but that is the Capture the Adventure stamp set. I will link it below. It might still be available. And now you'll see that I cut apart that Picture My Life card diagonally, and I want to use that white space to put my journaling on. So just a great way to take a Project Life card or a Picture My Life card and use it on a layout. So you'll see me tuck both of those right there. And I just think that adds so much to the layout. And then put this banner. I'm going to put the date on one of these. There's one on the bottom, and you'll see I put one up there at the top. So I'm going to put the date on one and her name on the other. This paper I'm bringing in now is a close to my heart paper, no longer available. This is called the Oasis Holographic Paper. I got it when it was on closeout, and I'm just using it with these circle dies to tuck behind each of my clusters to just kind of ground it, give it somewhere to land, if you will. I think when it moves around and you see the light, it kind of reflects the pinks and yellows and purples that I'm going with this layout, and just adds a little bit of something. But you're going to see me move them all around. I cut them in three different shapes, three different size circles, and I'm just kind of moving them all around to figure out where they belong, where they fit the best. These are just circle dies that I got off of Amazon. I will link those below as well. It came with a set of circles, squares, rectangles, and ellipses. I think that's what they're called. Now I am going to put some ribbon in the tags. You'll see I take this black and white ribbon that's super cute, and I thought it might be too thick, so you're going to see me here cut it in half the long way. It doesn't work. It was very cute and I liked it, but as soon as I cut it, it started to fray on the edges, the long edges. So I scrapped that and went back to the full-size ribbon. You can also see that I unwound all that ribbon from the spool, thinking that there was not nearly as much ribbon on that little mini spool of ribbon than there actually was, and ended up having to put it back on the spool so I could put it back in my storage. So I just kind of fed this through, looped it over and fed it through, and then tied it back on itself, and then trimmed it down. And once I put this on my layout, I will just put a couple of drops of glue behind each of those ribbon tails to stick them in place. But you're going to see me put ribbon on both of those tags, and then I'm going to add it to the two tags together that are there on the right, and I end up not liking that and taking it off. And then I will later put a gem or a sequin or even a brad or something over those tags to give it a finishing touch that isn't ribbon. I just thought that the black and white ribbon on all three of those was too much, and it interfered, this one that I'm doing now interfered with that yellow tag that's going to say, have the date on it. So I just didn't want to block all that, and it just seemed like too much, too thick ribbon, and it just didn't look right to me. So I'm going to go ahead and put those tags back up there after taking off the ribbon, and you'll see three little words there. They're little tabs. One says here, one says now, one says today, which I thought was super cute, and I'm just lining those up. The ribbon is still there, but I am going to take it off. So you see me thinking about it and removing that. Once I have that back in there with those tabs, that's going to kind of do it. I'm mostly happy with that, and I'm going to move on. I've played around with a bunch of different things. I think I've got this where I like it. My plan is to do my journaling in here. I don't know if it will fit. I don't have a long story to tell about this, but I do have a little bit of a story to tell. So I'm hoping that I can print out some journaling, maybe even on a clear sticker sheet that will go over both pieces, but I really was hoping I could get it to fit in this box. And I'm going to mess around with a text box on Google Docs. I'll just create a triangle and see if I can get my story in there, print it out on some scrap paper and line it up there to see if it's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and glue all this down, at least the stuff that I'm ready to commit to. But before I do that, I wanted to show you that I did gut this paper. So I really like this pink paper, and originally I thought that I might need some of it for embellishments on the actual layout, but I didn't end up doing that, but I still didn't want to waste all that paper. So I cut out the middle. I left a 1.5 inch border all the way around. I will put a link at the end of this video to another video. There's a couple videos that shows you how I do this. In fact, the last video that I posted, the one directly before this one, shows you how to gut out a piece of paper. I didn't gut out the black cardstock. I've got plenty of cardstock. I don't need to save that. And I wanted to make sure that the page had enough stability that it wasn't going to be floppy. Even though it's going in a page protector, I still want it to have some sturdiness. So before I glue that down, I wanted to show you that. I want to show you my finished page. I was able to get my journaling in here. It took me quite a bit. I used Photoshop. I put in a triangle and then I stretched the one edge because this isn't a perfect triangle. And then it took me 3 or 4 times of rearranging the words just to get it to fit in there. But I did get it in there and I really love it. And then I added the date. On this one, I wish I would have made the paper go all the way across. See down here, it goes all the way across so you can't see the white underneath it. But I'm going to learn to live with it. Everything is glued down. I am still looking for the perfect gem to go right there. I've got a bunch of brads and different stickers, so I'll find something to go in there. But isn't that so cute? I love how the holographic paper came out. Like, you know, I think you can see it on camera, but when you move it around, it just, the colors in it remind me of the colors that are in these papers. So I really do love that. And you can see the back with the gutted out. So, and I got my daughter's stamp of approval for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in her album and move on to the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're notified when new videos come up. If you want to see a video that shows how I gut out the back of this paper, you can go ahead and click on the link that's up here in the video that you can see up here on your screen now. Thank you for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.